Hello and welcome. My name is Kayla. I'm a Canadian actress based in Toronto, and today we're doing things a little bit differently. Oh, this could be very controversial. It still gets to me today. That's a wig? Whoa, okay. Wow, starting off hot.
Studio bills in Los Angeles, which is devastating.
I love taking things from set, but can she act? It is a damn crime. She's supposed to be ugly. That doesn't happen. For today's video, I want to talk about 3 hard truths about being an actor. If I ever were to do things over again, these are the 3 things I would want to know to make my career more enjoyable and honestly more rewarding. Let's just hop right into it. Hard truth number 1. You need to be more than just an actor. This is something that to this day I am still needing to remind myself and tell myself, because it is so easy to get wrapped up in being an actor and having your entire identity, your entire personality be that you're an actor. Because we don't clock in and out of work, because this job is so flexible, but also nothing is really set in stone, and it is so much about how much work you put into it. It can be so easy to get so wrapped up in the work that you start taking everything personal. Because you are making your entire identity being an actor, the times where you're not working, it can feel personal. It can feel like you're failing. And that is such a heartbreaking and just uncomfortable feeling. Also, because you're feeling that, you're going into every audition with this kind of underlining desperation. It's kind of like a unconscious thing that you're doing because you're tying your whole life into auditioning, and it feels very personal when you're not booking. Every single audition feels like you have to book it. It feels like if you don't book this role, you're not good. You're putting way more unnecessary pressure onto yourself by tying your entire identity into being an actor. Having experiences, having hobbies, having a life outside of acting is what is going to make your acting better. And it's so much more fun, so much more rewarding. It's nice to be able to sign out of acting and go live a life, because the truth is there is a lot of downtime when it comes to acting. There is a lot of time in between jobs. You don't want to be filling that time up with worry and self-doubt and trying to get into the heads of casting directors, and it's not necessary. It's also one of the reasons why so many artists burn out or leave the business altogether. There's so much that is out of your control when it comes to booking a job. The one thing you can control is how you feel about yourself when you're not in front of that screen, when you're not on that set. That matters. You need a life outside of regular 9-to-5s. You also need a life outside of acting. You need to be more than just an actor. Which brings me to hard truth number 2. And this is something that was kind of jarring when I learned this. And honestly, it was something that I had kind of heard before, but I didn't really truly understand it. And that is, being talented isn't enough. When I first got into this industry, I had this beautiful vision that I would walk into the room, I would do my scene for the audition, brilliantly, of course, and history would be made. That would be it. I just needed them to see me, and as soon as they saw me, that was it. People would know who I was. Yeah, so that can't be further from the truth. I used to think as long as I worked on my craft, as long as I was the best actor in the room, I would get the job. But that's simply not true. You can be the best actor for the job and not work for months, for years. Talent has so little to do with acting. It is such a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. Now, that's not to say don't work on your acting, don't work on your talent, you still want to work on the skill. This is something that you will be developing for the rest of your life. Acting is a lifelong skill. The more life you get to live, the more you can bring to a role. So this is by no means saying that you don't have to be talented and that skill means nothing. It still matters. What I'm saying is that it's not the only thing that matters. It's not the end all be all of what will get you a role. Sometimes it's something so silly like you're too tall or you look too much like somebody else who was cast. There are so many factors that go into why somebody might get cast. And at the end of the day, the hard truth is that talent normally isn't the deciding factor. And now for the third and final hard truth. There is no such thing as an overnight success. Hollywood loves a story. Storytelling is at the core of this industry, and that doesn't stop when the cameras aren't rolling. Our careers begin years, sometimes decades, before anybody even knows what our name is. Steve Carell's big break was The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He was seen as an overnight success. After The 40-Year-Old Virgin came out, he all of a sudden was in movie after movie. He was in The Office. But if you actually look at his IMDb, he had done 27 credits. 27 before booking The 40-Year-Old Virgin. And you might be saying, okay, but are those like obscure or smaller roles? Just a couple years before he did The 40-Year-Old Virgin, he was in a small little movie called Anchorman. And not just like a random person, no, he was part of the main cast. But to Hollywood, he was an overnight success. He booked that one job and all of a sudden, he was a successful actor. But the truth was, he already was a successful actor. He already had a career. The only difference was people now recognized him. If you are an actor or thinking about becoming an actor, I challenge you to 1, figure out what success means and is to you. Don't have outside sources or other people define success for you. Define it for yourself and work towards that. I also challenge you to look at other overnight successes and see when their career actually began. Because I promise you, for most of them, it was years before their big break. These are 3 things that I wish I didn't have to learn the hard way, that I wish I had understood when I was starting out, because knowing these 3 things would have made the beginning of my career way less painful. And being fully honest, I'm still trying to unlearn some of these things. But hey, that's why I'm here. Trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes. I made these mistakes so you don't have to. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. That way I know to keep making videos just like this. And if you're not yet subscribed, don't forget to. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!